All right, so we've got a bunch of people here. So Jean's a duty reliability manager, which she has the best job on the network because she's the person who responds when something goes wrong on our trains. And then we've got Robin.
Yep, well, I'm customer service manager for the remote area. After this, I take a note for it. I've been here 9 the iPhone, and we've got buses before that. Thank you, man. So if you've got any questions as we go around,
We're here today to talk to all of you about the most boring bits of stations, which are not boring at all. And then finally we have Luca. Luca is a photographer from TFL. If you do not want your photograph taken, let Luca know. Are we all clear on all the safety issues? Are we all clear on all the other issues? Okay, what we're going to do now is we are going to head up the escalators and regroup outside the station. Robin and I will lead you. Before we do that, I want to ask all of you, as we're going up, look and tell me, as we get out there, what materials are used in the station? What are you thinking about? And secondly, how does the station make you feel? Which is always an important question. All right. So, we just came up the escalators to one of the best stations on the network. What did you notice? What materials were used? What do we have? Paper. Where was paper used? Maps. That's a good point. We use a special fire-treated paper in all of our stations. What about you? Glass. Yes, there's a lot of glass indeed. We have 3 glass entrances like this one, which use 800 panes of glass on the entrances. Metal. We use a special type of metal here called stainless steel. And is there anything else? What? Bricks. Sort of bricks. Type like that. What is it? Cement, concrete. Yes, so when we think about the Jubilee Line extension, when we think about the 11 stations that were built in 1999, all of these stations will have 3 things in common. Glass, concrete, and stainless steel metal. You may also see a little bit of blue sprinkled here and there, like at North Greenwich Station. And one of the joys of the Jubilee Line extension for me, as somebody who loves stations, is that we have 11 different architects and London Transport saying to them, hey, here's your brief. Use these different materials. We want you to focus on these 3 materials. And then we come out with 11 stations that look radically different, but all of them are beautiful in their own way. Now, this station was designed by Foster and Partners, and if you turn around, you'll get a good sense. There's a complete dead giveaway right away as to how this is on Norman Foster Station. And it's that glass arch entrance here. It is a distinctive type of entrance that he developed for the Bilbao Metro, where they called it a Fosterito. Here we've made them slightly bigger, but it's still the same principle. And we have 3 entrances to the station. Later on this tour, we'll be going out the final entrance, which is the Fosterito, and you'll be able to see it there. Any questions about this before we go down? Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to walk behind us. You think you're out of the station now. You're not. The station is extending below us, and it actually extends out to the dock. This was originally supposed to be a dock as well. It was a dock, and we were going to have water above the station instead of a park. But that proved to be too difficult, so we didn't infill the park. After this tour, I would suggest you go through all of this building work. By the Waitrose, you'll be able to exit, and you'll be able to see the new Canary Wharf station for Crossrail. They've built some of the entrances around it, and you'll be able to see how we've kept the dock there and built above it, but we'll also build below it. If there are no questions, what we're going to do now is go this way and actually head down. So follow We've got somebody who's on the ball, tracking everything going wrong on the
If
network.
somebody you see Jean leave us, basically there's an incident she has to go and deal with. So they will contact her, and then you'll see her disappear.
So welcome to the Wembley Steps.
Wembley Stairs, based on Wembley, if any of you know Wembley Stadium at all, Wembley Station, when you leave there, it's basically a photocopy of this. So that's why we refer to as the Wembley Stairs when we're referring to this area. So, and then, shall I explain to you a bit about
You know what this is? Fractures. Oh, it's not fractures. Actually, this is. Yes, does somebody else have something? Okay, this is what's known as a SID number, a station identification number. And this number, you'll see them all over London Underground stations. And it's a code that helps people realize where they are at the station and what things are used for. So the top number tells you the level. This station has 7 levels. We're at level 4. And then the bottom number tells you how it's used. So 631 may not sound like a lot to you, but 631 would be it's a stairwell. And we've got different codes for different things and different uses on stations. Yes? I have no idea. 084. Oh, 84 is corridor. Yeah. If I'm remembering correctly. Once I had all of these memorized because I was staring at station plans. But that was 5 years ago. What we're going to do now is we're going to go through here and then head down one more level and emerge back into the public viewing area. So I want you to again think about the difference between public facing and private facing on this network.
Excuse me, what did they use? What's the area? Is this for emergency service?
Yeah. Don't worry, you'll see a lot of these stairs. Not these stairs, but the other stairs.
As this says an emergency exit, is there any provision for disabled people to get on it?
Yes, we actually have lifts, a special lift that we can use to get this in. It's a special fireman's lift. There is provision, yes. We're going to do a lot of stairs here.
This is solution to every scenario. At times, yeah.
And now we're back within the station itself. Now we're looking at a familiar spot. We've got our lovely concrete here. And as we go through, I want you to, again, think about the way the station makes you feel. What we're going to do now is we are going to walk through the station and go up to the mezzanine level where we'll talk about the design of the box within the box. All right, any questions? Great. Yes. Come on through. So, we've just had somebody respond to the question of how does this station make you feel? And the response has been soulless. And we could possibly use some plants. Potentially. And one of the things that my program does is looks at doing more plants on stations. One of the difficulties we have with plants on stations is the fact that A, in a lot of stations there's no natural light, and B, in a lot of stations we have really windy conditions. C, a lot of stations, you've got a lot of dirt and particles. But we are doing more indoor gardens. However, I would disagree with you on the soulless nature of this station.
I disagree as well.
All right, how does this station make you feel?
I just love the way it uses the concrete and the metal and the weight on the side. Yeah.
So we're in a station which is really, really heavy. We've got a lot of concrete, we've got a lot of steel, it should feel heavy, but instead we have a feeling of lightness and of space. Part of that is because of the way the box are designed in natural light. You can see with the Bosteritos, we're getting a natural light that penetrates that design, which you can see looking that way and looking this way. We've got a central span of columns and then what look like wings coming out of the station. Like the entire station roof could take off and fly away. And even though it's concrete, you do get that sense of spaciousness and light. And this is part of how we want to design stations. We know you're going underground. We know you're going to be in a tunnel. We want to make you feel like you're outdoors and like you're in a big spot for as long as possible, which is part of the design of this station. All right, one thing before we go up, we are now in a box within a box. We're at a mezzanine level. We are currently being suspended by all of these supports along here. And I want you to remember this box within a box structure. You can see down that way to the rest of the station. And later on, you will see more of the box within a box. Follow me, we're going to go up and out the Austrian entrance. They're safer and they last longer. If you paint something, you need to repaint it over and over and over again. You don't need to paint concrete. It lasts. This is going now. So it does get washed.
Unless we've got some, some exact
If a bird pees on it, it'll wash off the rain.
Once a year then, just about every way.
So what we're going to do now is we are going to go across the street, so please be careful. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the other side of the docks. Yeah. You could use stained glass instead, and as we're looking at putting different things in stations, we are looking at doing various stained glass and other features. But again, if you use stained glass, you need to think about the impact of natural light. So if you have London in winter, when it gets dark at 4 p.m., is the stained glass going to work? Or will it stop as much light as possible coming through? So these are some of the equations that we try to think about and balance as we're designing stations. Okay. So we talked earlier about 800 feet long. If you took one Canada Square, which is the skyscraper with the triangle on top that's right over there, you could lay it down in this station and you'd still have room to spare. But even with that, we still have capacity issues. This station was designed for 50,000 people to come through daily. And we currently have 86,000 entries and exits on a typical weekday. So if you're ever at a station and they ask you to wait outside before letting you in, they're not being mean. They just need to clear people off the platform before they can let people on. Otherwise, it'll get congested. Robin's going to talk about what is over there, that kind of weird half-egg thing.
Right, on this side, where the yellow pillars are coming out, that's the O2 Arena. That's North British Station, which is also comes under the Canary Wharf area. And the little half a kidney, where the two cranes are there, that's what we call an intervention point. Basically, in the tunnels, when your train goes through the tunnels, you'll see a blue light every now and then. Basically, that's an emergency exit if we had to evacuate you without using the station, so we can evacuate trains in tunnels get you out without having to use station. The only way we can do that is once, Jean with us today, she gives us the ability to do that, otherwise we cannot do that. Usually, so next time you're going through a tunnel, on a train, you're through the tunnel, you see a blue light flash up, that is your intervention point, whatever line you're travelling on. And Canary, on on all lines, even on the DLR, you've got them. Basically, it's just a blue bulb, but the train goes so fast you can just see a little flash. And look, Canary Wharf station, we actually call it an island station because stations either side of Canary Wharf, they're on the other side of the river. You've got North Greenwich on the other side, and you've got Canada Waters on the other side. And sometimes when the service we've got problems, people will get out at Canary here, even though you can see North Greenwich there, they ask can we walk through it. You've got a little bit of problem with the river running in the middle. But other than that, that is Canary Wharf, basically an island station. Yes.
Why don't they make a bridge?
Why don't they make a bridge? Fortunately, because of the ships that go through all the way up to Tower Hill.
There is a new proposal for a bridge at Galleon's Reach. If you go to consultations at tfl.gov.uk, you can read about the plans for this bridge. Yes. What are they building here? They're building a development here called Wharf. So again, we've had a lot of development in this area in the past few years, a lot of increased residential development, and of course the new Crossrail development. So a whole bunch of stuff is coming through the station. Why is it called Canary Wharf? Does anyone know the answer to that? Why? It's not Canary, but Canary.
Ships used to go to and from the Canaries.
Correct, and this used to be a dock, it was part of the docklands, so that's why it's called Canary Wharf. Same thing with Canada Waters, same thing with Surrey Quays. And if you look at the stations that are part of the docklands redevelopment, you'll have that dock heritage built into the names. All right.
No, they're at different parts of so you won't get every single station, you won't get them all between. It's usually between every 500 metres to 1,000 metres you might find one, but not necessarily every station.
For that, no, we won't go down that way. We're just pointing it out from here. Yeah. But we will see other exits. In fact, we're going to go back through to the other entrance of the Wembley stairs and the way you would exit from this side of the station. Again, this is very confusing. There's no signage. Please stick together because otherwise you'll be wandering around concrete hallways for days. Because that's not a station. Beyond that. So beyond that concrete, there's actually a river.
Yeah. Oh, offices.
Offices.
All offices.
It's all
part
offices.
of Canary Wharf Estate, yeah. The main Canary Wharf building is just on the other side.
We'll answer questions as we walk because we've got a plan that shows where all the stairs go. Okay, so how often will we use these stairs? Because you've noticed the dirt that appears on your hands. Don't worry, you'll have a chance to wash your hands after the tour. We would use these stairs in emergency situations, but we also, so they only be used if we need to evacuate a station, but we hold regular drills on the station and evacuate the station as a drill so we know what to do if a real emergency happens. All right, great. We're going to continue winding our way down the stairs, and we're going to get to some interesting parts of the station. We're going to oh no! That's okay. Yeah, no, good for it.
I'm not touching that. Don't touch it, you have to be like this.
One that the station name is in? Yeah, it's called a roundel, and it's our brand, and it's a way people know they're riding London Underground. It was developed in 1908 because before that, we had so many advertisements on platforms, you couldn't tell where you were going. Those drawings are telling people don't smoke on stations. We use icons in addition to words.
Hey, somebody can't read.
Yeah.
Can't read English.
It's an international sign.
Yeah.
See the picture.
Yeah,
I put it in my home. Nobody can smoke.
so fire exit, keep clear. We have an exclamation point there so people know. And again, with the emergency exit, people know they can run out if they need to.
There's nobody can called Canary.
So,
Standard numbers. Usually you should put -1, -2 as you go down.
And I did the back.
we're going now into a part of the station that has narrow passageways, is dark, and has some steps in it. If you are a parent, please hold on to your children and make sure you're keeping track of them at all times. There will be dirty handrails here. You'll be able to wash your hands at the end of the tour. Yep, like that hand. Okay, great. Like that hand, yes. All right. Steps to go up. If anybody has trouble going up steps, let us know. We'll have somebody stay with you while the rest of the group comes, and then we'll rejoin you, okay? Great.
Go on.
SG, register somebody bringing your name. Now, as we're going down this hallway, you'll notice a lot of concrete. This is the unfinished concrete from the station. And then we have this cable run. All of these cables are the electricity, the other services that we need in the station. So the reason that the station itself looks so spare and looks so minimalist is because we put a lot of it behind here.
Don't touch
That
it.
is great. Touch anything. Please do not touch anything.
Is this the extra?
This is the extra dirty part of the station where we don't usually take people because it is so extra dirty.
Is that what
Yes.
Why did yellow?
So I think people how many people work here?
There is no color.
Depends on the time of day. In this area, you could have contractors in here at any time. I worked in this part of the station doing general inspection, just making sure all the lights were working, all the phones were working. So that was me with the radio walking around. Yeah.
It's like something's not well.
It would be a problem. It would be a big problem because we need them to keep working. We probably have to shut the station. Or we have backup batteries to make sure that doesn't happen. This is a lot of work. It would be a very big problem. Okay. Yeah. This part of the station is called the galley level. And many of our stations will have this. It may not be behind the scenes. Please be careful. Easy. So it's not even 20 years old yet. But again, nobody comes to these stations until we're in it as we do the regular tours of the station.
I'm worried that's the only set of stairs you've
It
got to go
comes
up.
from great dust.
about 4 or 5 doors we go through. When you hold the door, just be careful. The springs are very strong. That's due to the fire precautions. They need to be pushed closed. So as you go through, hold the doors tight because the springs are very strong.
I got it. Thanks for holding it.
Station will have cables that run electricity through and like communications. Yeah. And then we go back to that. These boxes right here.
If you can just slightly move down a little bit, please, so we can squeeze everyone in.
Okay.
Yeah, they're coming up this way. So look that way. They're just coming up. And I might see them. They're waiting for you.
Come on, kitty Willy. Well, yeah, it's such a shadow. Hi, strangers.
Oh, I think you should wave. Everybody here wave.
Hi.
No, because nobody knows this part of the station exists. When we talked about being in a box within a box earlier on, we were at the top of the box.
Look.
This is the bottom of the box.
We're in the area. Hi.
In the bottom of the box, held in by concrete.
Hi.
What we're in right now is a gantry. This leads to things called machine chambers. UMC for upper machine chamber, LMC for lower machine chamber. And we have those rooms at the tops and bottoms of escalators, and they allow us to go in and fix escalators when something goes wrong. So the next time you see a sign that says UMC, LMC, that's what they're meant for. All right, does everybody have their photos? If so, we're going to go back the way we came.
I didn't want to get them.
Parents, please keep track of your children, because we don't want to lose them up here.
Find my friends.
Yeah, watch the steps down here. On the Jubilee line because they stop people from dropping things on the track. Why don't you have them in all your stations? Well, our stations have been built on and off since 1863, and when we built a lot of our old stations, we built them where we could get road rights. And as a result, the roads are curved, and it's very hard to put platform edge doors in where you've got a curve on a platform. But we are putting them in on our newer stations, like the Jubilee Line extension. Contrary to what people think, these are actually not used to prevent people from coming from the track. They're used for fires. So if there's a fire, we can actually blow smoke through the tunnel and get people out of the station without entering the station. Question.
How does the train know where it stops in line?
Gene, you want to answer that? How does the train know where to stop to be exactly in line with the doors?
It's all run by computers. So then there's a computer on the train that works with a computer on the track, and they both link up together.
90%.
Automatic and manual. Mostly drive automatic, but they're not driverless.
There's a driver there, but Campbell. So when the train stops, it's also released automatically,
The next train is for Istanbul. In 1 minute. Moving on the platform. Please move on the platform. Let the people walk fast. Please.
Please don't hesitate to ask a member of staff.
Outside gets fed back to this station, and to do with a service or anything, first person to find out, in this case will be Adrian, who's our control room operator today. He'll get told of anything happened and he'll pass it on to the staff. Here he basically monitors all the cameras that go around the station. I think we've got some 176. About 176 cameras we've got down here. We've got the fire control panel that he looks after. So if any times we get a message like, as you travel you might hear Inspector Sands, please make your way to the control room. Basically it's a message of advising staff, be aware, we might be evacuating the station due to a problem. We're yet to meet Inspector Sands. So that is basically it. Any questions? Yes, go on. Question marks are these monitors, they warm up. Once it's letting us know that they're warmed up too much, that's why you've got the air conditioning going, cool everything down. We've got so many monitors and equipment in this room, behind the walls and everything, that is why it feels so warm. Yes?
Is this your first open day, or do you have one every year?
We have a couple as it goes over the year.
Where do you advertise them? Because only accidentally I saw it yesterday.
The last one.
I'll talk to you after the tour, because I'm the person who organizes those. So yeah.
She will,
we'll chat after the tour.
Yes.
Why can't you cut out these things?
What's that?
We don't give those out because they are actually used. We need them in the station. What she's pointing to is actually a yellow sticker that we put on fare gates to tell you where to tap your oyster. And if you don't have an oyster at home, why bother having the sticker? Okay. Question over here. Do you have the one?
I have one.
Yep.
If there are more than 100 cameras, why do you only have 9 screens?
what it is, the cameras are switchable, so you don't watch all 107 at the same time. They constantly flick over. Depends what settings we use.
What if you miss something really important?
But you'll tend not to. So when we've walked through all the doors today, we've actually set off alarms, silent alarms, and it's automatically come up on the screens here. So we tend not to miss things that are important because we have alarms for things that are important.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Question? Yeah.
Where are the cameras?
All over the station. You'll be able to see them if you look up.
Two over there.
Two over there.
So you fall immediately at the 6.
You'll be able to spot them when we leave the tight confines of the control room, and they're easier to spot. Any other questions? It is very hot in here because we have a lot of monitors, and that's why we have an air conditioning duct running down to try to cool it down. All right. We'll answer any other questions outside.
So if we all congregate to where we first started, that is where we're going to terminate.
Just before you go, have you seen the film Tracking It?
Tracking it. Okay, well, we'll do it if we've got the other tour too.
Okay.
So this screen is called TrackerNet.
Tracking it is basically just knows where the trains are.
And where platforms are.
Basically that, you know where the trains are.
Yeah.
So that's why, like I said, Adrian is the eyes and ears of our station. Usually we would use that one, and that lift also goes to all 7 levels of the station. So the anything going to any part of the station they use as quickly as possible.
What's the difference between farmers and
Difference is, fibers have, we got there's a double cable that goes to it, which means because of the extra power, if we lose power everywhere, we've still got full power on that one.
Is this a complete power cut?
If there's a complete, yeah, we got additional old, what we call Goldie, backup generators. They will, up to 4 hours, they will actually keep us afloat. So, but like we said, we keep a special one on the fibers, so there's no restricted access. And also, when they go from street level, their fire appliances can just come right up to the doors to bring their equipment down.
Excuse me, should you call your firefighters lift now? That's a kind of old-fashioned language, fireman's lift. I mean, a firefighter's lift.
Yes, that's true. Yep,
And part of what we're doing on the underground is we're actually trying to change language and signage. And this is part of the problem. We have 270 stations on the network. And as we're going through, we still have things. So, for example, we're moving away from ladies and gentlemen to talk more about customers. But we still have announcements that we need to change that take time to move through. Okay, one other question.
How do you solve the ladies and gentlemen problem with toilets?
We tend not to have that many toilets on our stations and encourage you to go elsewhere to use them.
If you're allowed to man now in the bush.
It's same like in the old terms, we used to say we man the platforms, whereas nowadays we say we staff the platforms. So it's getting into this. But if some of you are like me, a bit older, it takes a bit of time to get in the right wording. Right, so we'll be going on to the platform then.
So you would use this, let's say, Libby, we might use this instead.